Well, here we go. I got this idea from watching an Andrew Broussard episode, and I thought it would be kind of fun to do. Okay, it's kind of a I wonder what's going to happen if type of painting, and so I just thought that I would share I wonder what would happen if with you. Okay. Now I've made some Payne's Gray. Now this Payne's Gray that I've made, this is the ancient recipe, a couple of 100 years old at least. And basically what it is it's raw sienna red and blue. And the blue I used was ultramarine, but you could experiment with whatever blue you wanted. Okay. And it makes really a nice gray. Now you can use just regular old Payne's Gray that you can buy out of, at any shop that deals in watercolor. And basically what Payne's Gray is it's black and it's blue, and they just let it work together. Okay, now he put in some kind of tree forms, and I think that's a pretty good thing to do. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, now I'm going to add just a little bit more blue. Now I'm going to dip into some Payne's Gray that I've made that's a little bit darker, so we can kind of continue to establish a horizon here. We're going to shoot some of that into this too. We're just going to let it diffuse. This is kind of fun painting to do because the paint is really telling you what it wants to be. And it's up to us to try and discern what it's saying to us, okay? Now you can see it's getting a really nice diffused effect. And as he did, I'm seeing some tree forms in there. Or what speak to me as tree forms. Now they might speak to you as something else entirely. And that's okay too. It's good. Now I am going to get into some sienna, okay, and I'm going to just put some sienna down here. And I kind of like what he did. He kind of came across like that. So I'm just going to kind of follow that lead a little bit. We're just going to put some sienna in there. I'm not going to paint it. I'm just going to let it do its thing, okay? And I've got burnt sienna, and this is raw umber that we're putting in there. We just throw a little of that in there too, just for argument's sake, okay? But we'll just kind of move that up like that. Let's see what that does, okay? There we go. There, now just let it diffuse, let it do its own thing. This is the fun part of this painting. It's scary for some people, but for people like me, it's just fun. Just let it go, okay? Now, he was faced with the dilemma of, is this water or is it land? And if I remember right, he chose land. But I'm not so sure I want it to be land. So I'm going to take some blue, and there's still some of that Payne's Gray type color in here, and I'm just going to lay it across, just like that. Just like that. Okay. Now, when you look at this, what are your eyes showing you? What are they telling you? What are they telling you? What message are they giving you? Okay, that's a big question. What message are your eyes telling you on this? I know what mine are saying, but that's me. Those are my eyes. That ain't necessarily you. Okay. Now, this is all still nice and wet, so I'm going to come back into that same homemade Payne's Gray, and I'm going to just dapple some more. Let me get some on the brush here. I'm just going to dapple some more on top, and let's see what that might or might not do. Okay, just like that. Let's see what that may or may not do. We just let it do its thing. We get some blossoms out of it, and heck, that's okay too. We can use those because the blossoms are now giving us things to think about. Normally, we're scared to death of them. We don't have to be afraid of them now, because this is freeform. It's going to do what it wants to do, and we're going to let it. Okay, this is a Ron Ronson hake brush. It's a medium-sized hake. I cut the handle down because it's just too long for me. Okay, and if you can get one of these brushes, by golly, do so, because they're excellent. Okay, now I'm going to come into my nice dark brown. And I'm just going to pull, like he did, I'm just going to pull some trunk forms. Okay, just kind of like that. And these are going to diffuse, and that's okay. That's really what we're looking for. Let them diffuse into whatever they want to be. Here, we'll just pull a little something like that. There. I kind of like what I'm seeing there. Okay. Now, I've got my damp rag here, and I'm just going to press like this to help them go in there, because I think that might look kind of cool. Okay. I think that might look just pretty doggone neat. Okay. There. And we're going to leave that alone. It's time. It's saying, let me alone, Doc, and I'm going to let it alone. A painting will talk to you. If you listen, you're a very wise person. Now we're just letting that do what it wants to do. Okay, now I'm going to come into the manufactured Payne's Gray. Okay, I'm going to come into the manufactured Payne's Gray. Now I'm just going to tap a little of that here and there, just like that. This is still wet, you see. It's still wet, so this is going to do its thing. And that's what we want it to do. That's exactly what we want it to do. Okay, we're just going to leave this alone now. There it is. We're not going to mess with that anymore. Alrighty, now we're going to come in to the umber with a little bit of sienna, and let's just put something in here just for argument's sake. Okay, just like that. We don't need to do a lot more. We really don't. just gonna dampen the bottom of it here. Let's see what it does if we do that. Oh my goodness, yeah. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. Yeah, kind of cool. I'm going to take this brush. I'm going to just lift some of this stuff up. We're not going to go crazy with it. We'll just lift some of it up. Just like that. Oh yeah, I'm kind of liking that, and I've got my trusty little scraper here. Okay, we can reach in here. It's still wet, you see, because it's still wet. We get these nice forms like that, just like that. You getting your own ideas for what you do? Because if you are, why don't you go ahead? Why don't you go ahead and do that? You've seen how simple this is. You know, I mean, my goodness. It really can't get a lot simpler. Okay. We're getting a nice freeform here. Okay. The paint's happy. We're happy. Okay. Just like that. Okay. We give him a little thicker trunk down here. Like that. We'll draw a branch out that way. We'll draw a branch coming out this way, and another one that way, like that, like that. Let's not forget over here. Okay, we don't want to forget over there. By golly. Now, tree branches, as we've talked about before, they're just a series of Ys. Yep, that's all they are. Don't worry about it. They're just a series of Ys. I remember when I was learning to paint trees, I was told that, and I thought, yeah, you bet they are. The why was, why am I doing this? Because it's fun. Okay, now I got my little rigger, and we're going to put some more branches out here. See? Just like that. All kinds of branches. There we go. Just like that. Okay. We got us a nice tree. See there? See how that trunk goes down there, and this is growing up around it? By golly, that's something that we really, really like to see. Okay? Now, if we want some foliage on that, then what we can do is we can come into our sienna and we'll pull a little bit of gray in there. And we'll pull a little bit of just regular old yellow in there. Let's grab a little bit of blue, just a little, to make it kind of a cruddy looking green. Okay, now you see I've taken my brush like this, and it's got paint on it, but I'm going to knock some of that paint off of it. And I'm just going to come in here, and I'm just going to do some taps like that, see? Just some taps. And I'm tapping, I'm not pulling, okay? I'm just tapping. Just like that. This is essentially a dry brush. Just like that. Okay? You know, we're getting a painting here. And I did not start with any preconceived notions whatsoever. Okay, this one was just unplanned. Unplanned. Sometimes the unplanned ones turn out to be the most fun to do and the best to look at. Okay. Now I got a little smaller, really thin brush. We're going to come into our dark Payne's gray. We're going to get water in there. It's going to be about consistency of ink. Okay. And we got a little feller right here. And anybody that paints with me will know this little feller has got a name. And this is Scrappy. Scrappy loves to be in the paintings. So we indulge him and we let him be there because he's kind of fun to be around. Now what we can do is we can just pull a little bit here and a little bit there. And I just added some of the raw sienna into our Payne's gray mix, okay? Just for giggles. Just for giggles. Okay, we can just pull them up just like this. And you know, I think we're about to where we can say we've had fun. We made a pretty decent little painting out of nothing, really. Who knew it was going to be this? Not me. I did not have a clue. So, my friends, the moral of this story is to not be afraid to experiment and do something that you didn't plan. We just painted this as it went, and by golly, we came up with a pretty doggone nice little painting. All right, so thanks for spending some time with me, and we'll see you next video. And remember, as always, that I love you, I love you, I love you.